I'm sharing a Christmassy slimline card using the Chimney Caper from Spellbinders. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. Okay, I'm going to start with my background to ink blend a night sky for our chimney caper, which is Santa Claus hanging out of a chimney. It is hilarious. So I am using prize ribbon, my goodness, Uncharted Mariner and black soot. I'm not ink blending at the bottom because we're going to have a die cut there. This is a mini slimline which measures 6.5 by 3.5. This panel is 6 1/4 by 3 1/4 because when I'm done and I put this on my card base, I want it to have a nice little white frame. So creating a super simple night sky for our little cute Santa scene here. This is a really simple card to put together, but so cute and so much fun. Okay, I am using Lawn Fawn's, what am I using? This is the Snow Flurries background stencil, and then I'm using Tim Holtz' new Distress Twinkle texture paste, and it is going to dry clear but glittery, and it is so pretty on this background. So I'm going to do this first because I want this to dry while I'm putting together all of my other pieces. So in the Chimney Caper die set, you have like a little, I don't want to call it a hill, but it's like the snowy top of a roof, obviously. We have the chimney here. You put those two pieces together, you're going to get the frame. The solid piece, you're going to get the chimney. I die cut that from pomegranate cardstock from Spellbinders, but I want to darken it up. So I'm using just a tiny bit of black soot over the whole thing. I'm using the same red color for Santa, which is why I needed to ink blend over the chimney so it didn't look the same, because I love this. To me, this is like a true red, the pomegranate cardstock from Spellbinders. So, and then I die cut the brick part, or the grout part of the brick, from black cardstock, mixed media black cardstock from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to adhere this together. I think this would make really cute tags too for little kids to put on their presents. I just think that's really fun. The sentiments are so cute. I used 2 of the 3 sentiments for my card today. Okay, here we have our Santa. Let me move my silicone mat. We have the Santa, we have the snow drifts. We have the parts to him. I glued his belt on before I was supposed to, but I was able to lift it up, so I'll show you that in a minute. I was not paying attention. Then his boots are black. Then his little cuffs are on his ankles. So maybe it's the top of his socks. Maybe it's the bottom of his pants. I don't know, but they're white and really cute. And then I have his little belt buckle from Gold Mirror cardstock that we're going to adhere right to the center of his belt. And I'm really thankful here. I remembered I was able to pull up part of his belt to get his white fluffiness from his coat. I'm like, oh no. So I used my Pick Pro tool, and I'm just going to lightly run it underneath, and I could run it to a certain point, which was perfect to be able to slide that other part underneath. I didn't need to take the whole belt off. So thankfully I did not that it's a big deal, but you don't want to have to die cut something again if you don't have to die cut it again. Now he looks like Santa. So cute. Then there's a snowdrift for on top of the chimney, and then you have this little wavy die that looks, like I said, looks like the snow drift on top of your roof. So I've already die cut that from white cardstock, but we're gonna add some fun stuff to this to really make it look snowy. So I'm going to adhere, this piece is a little bit larger than my slimline, so I'm going to add that. Again, this is like the roof line with all of the snow on it. I can trim the excess off, but I'm going to pop that up with 2mm foam adhesive. Then I'm going to line up my snow here, and my background is nice and dry from the stenciling. Well, it's mostly dry, let me just say. I was impatient, so I was being really careful to not stick my hand in it, but most of it was dry, not all of it. You'll know it's dry because it dries clear. So if it still looks a little milky, it's not dry. Then I'm going to do, actually, hold on. The snow is 3mm foam adhesive. The chimney is 2mm, and then Santa is going to be 1mm. All from scrapbook.com, which is perfect. So let me tuck my chimney in there. I think I have it centered pretty good. And when Santa's hanging out, I want him to be a little crooked. I want him to be like fumbling to get in there because I think that's so cute. So I'm not going to glue him straight in. What I wish I would have had an action wobbler. I have said this before, and I thought I bought some and I did not. That would have been funny to have him as an action wobbler and his little legs moving around. That would be hilarious. And yeah, I wish I would have had those because that would have been so cute. Okay, so here's the 1mm foam adhesive I'm going to add behind his body. All right, let's tuck him in. Now, I hadn't decided on my sentiments yet, and I usually don't till the end, which is probably a problem for me. Because I decided I wanted to stamp one on the snow on the roof because it's quite large. So first I'm going to stamp a sentiment that's going to go at the top. It says delivering magic, and I'm using Lawn Fawn's red or lobster ink. It's such a pretty red. Again, I feel like it's kind of like a nice true red, or kind of like a bluish red, which I tend to lean towards more than an orange red. But now in my Misty, I'm going to stamp on this piece here. Now, do this at your own risk. I should have stamped this first. I did have a good amount of foam adhesive behind it, but you'll notice that the center didn't stamp well. So I have to push a lot harder, and I was so worried I was going to screw it up, but I did not. But don't do it this way. Stamp your sentiment first, even though this worked out. It was a little stressful. I trimmed out the delivering magic, just kind of following the sentiment shape. I didn't want like a straight sentiment up there. Now we're going to add all the fun snowy details. So I'm using the new Distress Twinkle texture paste and the new Distress Snowflakes glitter mica flakes. So I'm going to put down the texture paste first. I am covering the whole of the snowdrift here with the texture paste. Then at the very top, I'm going to sprinkle on the Snowflakes glitter mica flakes. So there's mica flakes in it and little tiny pieces of glitter, and it is fabulous, you guys. Oh my gosh, I love it. So I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of that on the top. I didn't do it on the whole part, just the top. And then I can just tap off the excess. I'm using my fingers to grab a little bit of the glitter and the mica flakes. And then I can tap off the excess. Then for the snow on the roof line, I'm going to do a little bit of that too. You can go down as far as you'd like. I probably went down, I don't know, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. But I will use more of the mica flakes and glitter, kind of covering all of the texture paste on this part. And again, this dries clear but shiny and sparkly, so it just adds a little something extra to all of that background. And I just used my tweezers to kind of remove some from the top that got a little bit over the edge. I don't want to ruin that fun little snowdrift line at the top. Okay, so now that that's on there, let's bring in the mica flakes and glitter. This is the Snowflakes glitter. It's new and it's fabulous. And I'm going to sprinkle that on. And then you just have to let this dry. And this will be adhered to a Slimline card base that has a white frame around the edge. And I'm going to adhere Trinity Stamps Vanilla Sugar Snowflakes all over the background in between the stenciling. So you have a little double duty of snowflakes on, or snow on this background. And then we'll take a look at this up close, and then this card is finished. How cute is this? I love it. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.